Theoretically speaking, if a small child popped out of your garden and started calling you mommy, what would you do? Today we watched The Odd Life of Timothy Green, and I can attest that it was, in fact, odd. And while I am not apathetic to sentiment, I have concerns. So if you haven't seen The Odd Life of Timothy Green, that's okay. I didn't see it until today either. So Jennifer Garner and her husband really want a baby, but they found out they're infertile. And so to cope with that, they made a list of everything they wanted in like their perfect baby and put it in a box, and then they buried it in their garden as like a grieving process, I guess. Well, that night it rained and a 10-year-old boy popped out of their garden, and it's supposed to be their perfect kid. And he has leaves growing on his legs. But also, he's already 10 years old. And through Timothy, they're learning how to be parents. And it's great until like his leaves start dying off, and apparently once his last leaf falls, kind of like in A Bug's Life, he has to go away. Where he went, I don't know. But he just didn't exist after that. But that's all you need to know. Nope, I lied. There's one more thing you need to know. This whole movie is like framed as a story within a story because they're trying to explain it to like an adoption agency or a foster care system. All I know is that they're applying to be a parent, and they have to explain it within like an hour. So they're telling the story about how a 10-year-old popped out of their garden and taught him to be a parent. And now here comes the concerns. Again, I am not apathetic. I'm just thinking about this from an outsider's perspective. First off, I understand we wouldn't have a story, but could you imagine trying to tell some kind of government system that you have parenting experience because a 10-year-old grew out of your garden? And then they admitted that they called the authorities, but they didn't tell the authorities about the kid because according to the kid, he came out of the ground. You see why that would sound far-fetched? And not only did he like come out of the ground out of nowhere, and then he disappears into nowhere. So a kid that was here one day is just completely gone. A kid that they never reported disappears. Which also begs the question, how the hell did she enroll him in school? He doesn't have a birth certificate or shot record or any kind of paperwork. Not a guardianship. And then like Jennifer Garner's sister is a total fucking bitch. Like the family meets the kid that morning that they're over for a barbecue, and she's just like, he's weird. Kids like that have problems. Like, ma'am, shut the fuck up. We see exactly how you feel apparently about foster children. Jesus. And not one person threw hands. And then the husband's dad threw a ball at him. Kid wasn't even paying attention. He just whacks him with a fucking dodgeball. Have any of you ever been around a small child before? And then they let him go to a pool party, but they didn't ask him whether or not he knew how to swim. Like, oops. Which, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but that seems like the type of mistake, had that kid not been magic, it would have been a problem. And then also, he makes one friend. That's a girl. And they're like, oh, he's spending too much time with her. And so Jennifer Garner hides in the woods so that she can talk to the girl. Ma'am, do not stalk children. I understand her intentions were good, but like, don't stalk children in the woods. But on the up hand, the one thing this kid knew how to do musically was play the cowbell part from the George Lopez theme, which I know is Lowrider, but it's the George Lopez theme. And also, so the husband works at the pencil factory because apparently that's like the only business in town, right? And they started layoffs. But according to Timothy Green, if you make a different kind of pencil, you can save jobs. Because apparently overhead is less expensive than layoffs. But not really, because then you'll be paying the workers that you were laying off on top of new overhead fees. And then if it doesn't work, like, you're asked out of money, which would result in more mass layoffs. But it's going to work because he showed people the leaves that grow on his feet. Also, when they made the lists of, like, what a perfect kid for them would be, did y'all ever see that episode of Friends where they're trying to choose Rachel's baby name? And, like, Ross and Rachel are going back as to everything this kid is supposed to be. Because he's supposed to be, like, Picasso. He's got to score the winning goal. He's got to be able to play music. He's got to be truthful to a fault. What are y'all going to do when you can't choose that? I don't know. 5 out of 10 because it was okay. But I've been concerned this whole movie. But it was still cute. So 5 out of 10. Okay, bye. All my friends know the Lowrider. Do 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 do. George Lopez's big head.